The Harrigan crime family, played by Brosnan and Helen Mirren, were initially portrayed as the good guys of the series, which is almost laughable given how evil both the Harrigans and their adversaries, the Stevensons, are. Tom Hardy's talented fixer Harry Da Souza is the closest thing MobLand has to a main protagonist, but it's becoming difficult to root for him because of his relationship with Conrad and Maeve Harrigan. Harry Da Souza, the unpredictable Conrad Harrigan's right hand, has far from clean hands. In just the first 6 episodes, Harry has become the most prolific killer in the Harrigan crime organization. On top of everything else, Harry's commitments to the Harrigans have caused him to not only neglect his wife and daughter, but also endanger their lives. Despite all of the odds against him, Harry Da Souza's skill and calm, cool, and collected demeanor make him an unquestionably cool TV character. However, goodwill is swiftly vanishing. While Harry himself might be a moral man who only acts on the orders of the Harrigans, that association is enough to make it impossible to maintain rooting for Harry. Some of Conrad and Maeve's activities are so heinous that they appear cartoonishly terrible. Maeve's murder of Vron Stevenson, which Conrad claimed responsibility for, was horrible enough, but their phone call to Richie to rub his nose in her death was wicked. Conrad's unpleasant interaction with Gina Da Souza demonstrated how scummy and disrespectful he is, on top of being an insane murderer. For Harry, his work for the Harrigans is just his job, and he generally tries to follow the gangland rule on who should and should not be targeted. However, his unwavering loyalty to Conrad drives all of his actions, and nothing Conrad has asked for has been too much for Harry. The determination to keep executing the will of someone so totally evil makes it practically impossible to maintain viewing Harry in a heroic perspective, such as it is in the crime-filled environment of MobLand. The elder Harrigans have been so blatantly wicked that Richie Stevenson has emerged as the more sympathetic of the two sides. Richie, like Conrad and Maeve, is willing to kill to protect and extend his business in London's fentanyl trade, and he is far from a normal hero. However, his self-control and awareness distinguish him from the Harrigans. So far, he has demonstrated that he knows the risks associated with being a crime lord and is unwilling to let a selfish desire for vengeance derail good business. The ultimate proof was his willingness to avert a near-certain gang war following the murder of his son, Tommy. Despite Kevin and Harry's best efforts to hide it, Richie knew from the start that Eddie Harrigan was responsible for his son's death, but he only declared open season on Eddie and was willing to leave the rest of the Harrigans alone so that both sides could continue doing business. The crazy Harrigans repaid his patience and good sense by murdering his wife, formally starting a real gang war. Richie has often told Harry that he likes him in person. While Harry hasn't replied in kind, rather the opposite, it's becoming increasingly likely that Harry will go against the Harrigans to help Richie. The murder of Vron Stevenson served as a tipping point in the feud between the two families, putting Harry's family in mortal danger. He is more motivated than ever to get away from such reckless individuals as Maeve and Conrad Harrigan. His decision may be made easier if Maeve's larger plan comes to fruition, as it appears she is plotting to remove Conrad as head of the Harrigan crime family. As mutually loyal as Harry and Conrad are, Maeve has no such allegiance, and has even suggested that Harry is the rat who called in the location of Archie's body. If Maeve can get Conrad out of the picture, the Stevenson crime family will appear much more appealing to Harry, and it could be his road ahead in MobLand. For more videos, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel.